What up and welcome back. Are you done?
Never.
No. Welcome back to Boring Reviews. Today we're reacting to another QI, quite interesting, or...
Key.
And we are reacting to Fireman's Pole. Ooh. This reminds me of, there's a show here that's called Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and it's all about cops, but it's a comedian. It's a comedic show. I was like trying to say... I was trying to say comedian, yeah, and that was not right. Anyway, but it's very much like The Office, but with cops in New York City, and they like end up working with the fire department, and they don't really get along. And
I'm sure a lot of you have seen Brooklyn Nine-Nine. It's on Netflix, for crying out loud.
Yeah, but anyway, it's just hilarious.
It is hilarious. I did catch the first few seconds of this when I was getting the videos ready, and it's basically like what happened to the fireman's pole.
Whatever, way to like.
But still excited for this. We love ourselves some QI. If you like our reactions to this, we have plenty more on the channel. Go and check those out. But as far as this one goes, please don't forget to
like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you can be aware of our next uploaded video. Let's get this video on.
I think it's already on. All right. Here she doesn't go.
What happened to the fireman's pole?
He tiled the fireman's bathroom.
Very good. Very good.
I mean, how much time does it save to go down a pole? I mean, they've got to drive half the mile across the town anyway to get there. So
that's
half
true.
A second off the... Just walk down the stairs.
Why don't they have a slide, like in the park?
Oh, that would be fun.
They could have a swirly slide or even a water slide.
It'd be a good way of getting young firemen in, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Getting them trained. It was probably a health and safety thing.
I just have to say, I did have a friend who had a slide in their home. It took you from the second story down to the basement. So, yeah, it was pretty cool.
That's pretty awesome.
It was the best thing. And then in their basement, they had a rock climbing wall. I mean, it's no higher than just like a regular wall, but yeah.
That's some extra money to spend.
Oh, yeah, it was a big home, but it was so cool.
Good way of getting young firemen in, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Getting them trained. It was probably a health and safety thing, I would imagine.
Oh, God.
Was it really?
No, you see...
Safety gone mad. That's the new political correctness gone mad.
Yeah, there was a series of stories in the newspapers that, like, essentially just to make things up in order to get us all angry in the morning. They claimed that, you know, firemen's poles were being taken out because health and safety... And it's just...
It's the whole reason.
I mean, most new fire stations are built on one floor, so they don't arise. Yeah. But in all ones where they exist, they're there. And if they build one with 2 floors, they get their poles.
But surely that's the main reason you become a fireman, isn't it?
Yeah.
You go down the pole. It's not like I want to be a fireman so that I might die in a fire. Yes. It's I want to go down the pole, and maybe one night I'll bring a special friend back and share with the pole. And
You're absolutely right.
We demand an extra floor on the fire station. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So
do you know where the longest pole is in Europe, fireman's pole? And how long would you think it might be? What's the maximum length?
48 feet, I would guess.
64
no,
feet.
40 foot, actually. There's a 40-footer in Birmingham, and it's the biggest in Europe.
That's the limit, isn't it?
There may be a bigger one in America, I believe.
That's really quite high.
It is quite high, 40 foot, yeah.
When you're really going to take the skin off your hands by the time you get off.
So you picture that squeaky noise, and it makes your teeth go on edge.
They talc up like the weightlifters.
They should do, shouldn't they?
Do they teach a technique of coming down the pole? Is it just hands? Because they all seem to be doing...
I think the thighs have to exert pressure.
I must say, there are a hell of a lot of firefighters.
The fire engine is there going, no, I can't go yet. I've got to wait for it all in. Meanwhile, the whole family is burning to death.
Well, apparently it's because they sometimes literally are still pulling on their trousers and then running downstairs doing that, of course, is much more dangerous than going down a pole where you can just sort of hold them up and go down the pole and put them on. You really are, and obviously every second can save a life.
I understand why the firemen are always completely caught out by the fact that...
Yeah, so what? A fire?
Oh, my God! Quick! All undressed.
Were the poles always made of shiny metal, or were there early versions that splintered and...
Nasty.
Well, they must have experimented with
flammable
materials.
pole, that'd be absurd. They'd all be stuck up there with the pole on fire, no one to put it out.
it was insurance companies invented firemen.
You're absolutely right. I think you should get some points to that, Clive, because you're completely correct. Things like the Sun was one of the biggest, now the Royal Sun Alliance. That started as a fire insurance company. And what would happen was you'd pay the insurance to the company and they would send you a brass plaque which you would set into the wall of your house. So if there was a fire, what tended to happen was lots of different brigades came from different insurance companies and they read the plaque. And if you hadn't paid, they wouldn't put your fire out unless you happened to be next to someone else who had. Because, you know, if you got a fire, the chances are the fire would spread to them.
I think that's one of the worst things I can imagine is your house is on fire and they turn up and won't put it out.
I know. Can you imagine that?
That would make me annoying.
Would they stay and kind of roast marshmallows, or would they just drive straight up?
I'd stand there with the hose gun.
Or sort of saying...
Stand there with water pouring out the other
Sort
way.
of saying, since we're here, if you paid for the next time, we might as well collect now.
Think again with your premium.
It's not the fire that kills people. I don't know if you're aware of this.
Fire doesn't kill people.
No. It's,
No,
well,
okay.
it does, Clive, of
Bullets.
course. You're not going to tie me up in legalese here. I'm not going to get all heated up, which is what you want to happen. I'm not actually very
It didn't say fire doesn't kill people. It said it's not the fire that kills people.
Your lordship,
Not quite
your
the same
lordship is
thing.
absolutely right.
Thank you.
But I was just exploring the notion that fire was in some way not deadly.
It's not the fire
Yeah.
that kills the people.
Generally
It's a byproduct of the fire. And I wonder if any of you know what that byproduct
Is it flame?
Is it the slinky?
is. It's not the slinky, Stephen,
that
but
was
it's
a
a good
wild
try.
guess.
Clive, you were right. Smoke. It's the smoke. And what happens is... Smoke doesn't burn you, so I know what you're thinking. Well, how on earth could... No. What smoke does, and this is where it gets interesting, it chokes you. And if we choke, what can't we do?
We can't breathe.
We can't breathe.
No.
We can't breathe. And if we can't breathe, what do, Dom?
We die.
We die. Yes.
Oh, man. That's why they say you get down low and you crawl if you can. Try to avoid the smoke.
Well, it just makes me think of one of my favorite shows, This Is Us.
Oh,
And that's just...
how he dies.
Spoiler.
Oops.
Oops. She said oops. Gosh, I think it'll last at least 10 minutes at a time. But yeah, in one of the final episodes of the series, they show a different perspective of the doctor who's treating him, checks him out. Yeah, you should be fine. Don't worry about it. There's a kid that is coding in a different room, so he brings the attention to the kid that's coding, and they're able to bring him back before the doctor has to do anything. And when he comes back downstairs, they tell him that the other guy died. Like, what do you mean he died? So I had this guy coding. I had to go there instead of going there, and it ended up that this kid was fine and this guy wasn't. Like, just shows you, like, and it's a show. I get that, but it just shows you the tough decisions doctors have to make.
Yeah, sucks.
Like firemen have to make or whatever. The fireman's pole. I don't know for a fact they don't have any more fireman's poles. I'm never at a firehouse for crying out loud.
No, but the ones...
But nowadays it would make sense because they worry about everything.
And the ones here are all one story. So...
Yeah, I mean, there's got to be a basement or something.
And I'm sure the older ones maybe are two-story, but at least the ones around where we live, they're all one story. I've been through a fire house one time in elementary, and I can't remember much of it. But I remember it was one story, and I remember there was like this big family room, and they're like, yeah, we just play video games or whatever until it's our turn to be called out. And nowadays, before it used to, like when we were younger, they were just called out for fires. Now they're like EMT as well. They go out, they're the first responders that go out for car accidents, for everything. They're usually there before an actual ambulance is.
But they put in like a 36-hour shift.
Yeah, they put in long shifts,
And
they sleep
they
there.
do. They have barbecue. I mean, I know this for a fact because I have friends that are firemen. They have barbecues. They have video games. They have different activities, which is why, like, he makes that joke, but it's true. Like, oh, we weren't expecting this. We're in the middle of a game. We got to get our stuff going on.
Yeah.
And I know it's very dangerous, but I've never been able to have a job that, in between the time that I actually had to do my job, that I can just kind of sit back and relax and
Something
get paid
else
for
always
it.
has to be done.
I'm not saying I'm jealous. I know I can just go and be a fireman if I was really jealous. I'm not saying that at all. It's a tough job, but it is always quite interesting. Let us know if that's how it is in the UK too.
Yeah.
Is it a different situation? Because firemen here, with the overtime and whatnot, they get paid pretty decently. They really
make
do.
good money.
They can make a lot of money. So let us know what it's like there. Thank you so much for watching our reaction to this. As always, educational and funny. And until next time.
Goodbye.